Okay, so this lesson's going to be about the mental game and what I think is important and so forth. But just again, we talk about the 5 mountains that we climb not only in life, but we can also find those in the world-class athletes that play in every sport. And you have those 5 mountains are the physical side, you have the mental side, you have the emotional side, you have the spiritual side, and then you have the intuitive side. And within those, there's all kinds of things. And we're not really, this lesson's not based around that. This one's based around more like mental toughness and how to look at things and reflect, adjust, and evolve like we talk about. But it's more about the toughness side. And, a lot of the things that you'll see on our website are about understanding through the Tao, becoming the softer version of ourselves, more bendable, flexible to society and ourselves, our families, and our friends, and also to ourselves on the golf course through mindfulness and the meditation and Zen. But this one's going to be about more like kind of like that Western raw toughness and how it can apply to your game and hopefully help you out when you need it. The one thing I will say is, as most of us Americans are, is we are pretty durable and very tough in general, and sometimes that's why we don't see the other side. We know the strong side so well, and we know the resilient side and the will and all that stuff, but we forget the soft side, and that's why I think our program really helps guys that understand that it's okay to have a soft side and a bendable and a flexible and a open side, as well as your durable and toughness and will and perseverance side. So this one is a little bit going the other way. This one's a little bit normally something that you'll see that I don't do a lot of, but I certainly believe in, and that is so a good way to start this is through what my brother was a Navy SEAL, and so I've been around a lot of Navy SEALs. Also heard a lot of stories. It's just amazing what they go through, and they train Navy SEALs. Not everybody thinks that they're all trained in the hard side, which they are, but they don't realize that they're trained in the soft side too. How to breathe, how to calm down, and those are more Eastern philosophies. The Art of War. Pretty much every Navy SEAL you talk to has heard of the book and has read the book, The Art of War, by Sun Tzu. They understand flexibility, bendability, when to be strong, when to be weak, when to follow and when to lead, and so forth. And that's what this is about. So the Navy SEALs, one of their creed is, the only easy day was yesterday. And so I learned this through my brother and some of his friends as well, and just through studies and what I've done as a player, but also as a coach, is it's easy to get locked up in the moment of what we've done in the past. And that could be either good, that could be bad, it could be horrible, it could be great. But to reflect into the past, the point of the Navy SEAL creed is the only easy day was yesterday. So it was a grind yesterday, right? It was a struggle. And even if you had a great day, it was still the only easy day was yesterday. So today you get up, you go do your deal, right? You go get hard, you go out there and you apply your workouts, you go apply your mental training, you go apply your physical side or your spiritual side, and dial into your emotional side and your intuitive side. And you got to do that. You can't just do that yesterday. And so with some of us, and I used to hear my brother talk about this all the time, you hear guys talk about the past. I did this, I did that. I was this back when I was 18. I was ripped. I was whatever it may be. I accomplished all this stuff 10 years ago, and so forth. But what only matters really is right now. And if you can get into the moment, into the present, right now is all that matters. And so when you play golf, you may say, oh man, 15, 20 years ago, I was amazing. Did all these things and blah, 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 and now I've lost it. But, back then I should have been on the tour. I should have been a scratch player, won my club championship, whatever it may be. And you can relate that into literally anything. And we're all guilty of doing that in some aspects. And there's some things that are realistic. When we are younger, we're a little bit more physical and some of those things, but not always necessarily. There's a point where we all start to break a little bit, but we don't want to live. The point of this lesson is the only easy day was yesterday. And that means that today, whether you're 70 years old, 75, 80, you still got to get up. You still got to go do something. You can't just lay there. You can, and it won't work out well for you. My point is you got to get up, and you got to go work on the physical side, the mental side, the spiritual, emotional, intuitive, and all those things, and put them together and continue to build. Because what you've done in the past is not, even though, yeah, it could be relevant and right now, and you're reaping the rewards or the negative sides of that, whatever it may be, or the middle ground of that, it doesn't really matter. It just doesn't. The whole point of the past is it doesn't matter, okay? Because the only thing that matters is what you're doing right now, and those things will start to affect what you do, where you are in the future, and so forth. But you just remember, you never lay down. You always remember to stay in the present and forget the past, because it's over. So what you've done in the past, accomplishments and all those things, those are great and everything like that. They'll all fade away because it's in the past. So you guys got to make yourself who you want to be and the way you want to be right now. So every day as you move and progress forward. But you have to stay in the moment to do that. When you play golf, it's easy to look back and reflect and go, man, I shot 68, yesterday. How could I go out and shoot 78 today? Well, it doesn't matter. The only easy day was yesterday, right? You go out and shoot 78, that day was whatever it was, but it's still yesterday. You have to focus on what you're doing today, and if you take care of today and you make today the best day you got in your life, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about tomorrow. You don't have to worry about yesterday, because yesterday's in the past, tomorrow's in the future. You got to worry about right now. And so if you're trying to make changes in your life, you're trying to make changes in your game, you're trying to become a better player overall, whatever it may be. Obviously, anybody in this program is trying to become a better golfer. But if you don't believe in the mental side, you probably don't need to be involved with us a whole lot, because a tremendous amount of our program is built around the understanding of the mental game, not only the physical side of the game. So we'll go into a little bit more here, and then we'll end it. But another thing is, when you're trying to become a really high-level golfer, you have to think about becoming a player first. And what I see with most golfers, whether they're on our website or they're on somebody else's or whatever, just golfers in general, they kind of think alike. They have this attitude that they want to get their swing mastered first. They want to have all these techniques and all this stuff mastered, and then so when they go out and play, by theory, that they're going to just hit it down every fairway and hit it on most all the greens and then putt really well and all this, because they've been doing technical things and they built from the technical side, and it doesn't work like that. And in martial arts, when this is explained from a high level, mixed martial arts especially, because you can go out and train forms all day long, and you can become really, 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 really good at them. But there is a big difference between somebody that knows how to fight in martial arts, that knows how to fight, versus somebody that knows how to do forms. You put somebody that's never, Bruce Lee talked about it, but even in regards to Bruce Lee, you talk about it to the high-level coaches, and you put somebody that's all they do is they train, the kung fu forms or taekwondo forms or whatever forms it may be, and they don't get in the ring and spar. That person has no idea what it feels like to be hit and to be in trouble and how to recover and to get out of that. And all they're thinking about is their forms. And that's the same principle as it goes into a golfer, whereas a fighter will go in there and all they're trying to do is take care of business. Their goal is one thing: take care of you, their opponent. And how are they going to go through you and take care of their business? And it could be through the hard side, the soft side. They might have the form training, they may not, but their goal in mind is to eliminate the problem. And the problem would be the opponent. And for you, it's going to be the golf course. And so when you go out, if all you do is train and hit balls all day long, and all you do is sit around putting, you never play golf, or all you do is drill, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be the level. I don't care what level you're at. Even if you're a really good player, when you're trying to become great, or you're a really bad player and you're just trying to become good. You're not going to get to those levels because you're not going, like we would call them in martial arts, you're not getting in there and sparring. You have to get in there and mix it up. Yeah, what if you screw up? You learn from better players. And it's just like it's the same thing in martial arts. You get in somebody that's I'm not even going to say a black belt. I'm just saying somebody that knows how to fight in martial arts, and you don't. You will learn really quick that, wow, that's different. I didn't realize that happened, and that doesn't happen when I do the punching bag or the shadow boxing or blah, 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 blah. Same thing with golf. And there's so many different aspects, just like mixed martial arts. You have wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all these different Muay Thai. You have some concepts of Jeet Kune Do, Bruce Lee's technique. You have Taekwondo. You have literally, all these different styles that they come together. Same thing as golf. We have the same thing. We have bunker play. We have recovery game. We have putting. We have chipping. We have all the shots in between those. We have full swing. We have the mental game. We have the same exact thing. We have to deal with all these things and make them become one. But how you learn ultimately how to connect all those things are by playing. So you don't want to just become a drill person. You don't want to become a range rat. You don't want to become somebody that gets on all the videos and looks for all the answers online and on the YouTube videos that are out there and all this searching and stuff. That is not going to do it. Your answers are within, and your answers are also through playing. And by getting in out there in these rounds with better competition than you are, whatever level you're at, better competition, you're going to learn and feed off them what you need to do to compete. And that is a huge, huge part of what I try to coach all my players on, whether you're online or not. Whether you believe it, it doesn't really matter to me. I can tell you that the success of our players, you can't really go against the grain on this and win. I have never seen anybody just live on the range and not play, and then all of a sudden play one event or two events that you expect to go out and win. They don't. That just does not happen. I see most people trying to do that. They're trying to train and play or train so much, and then all of a sudden they want to go out on their Saturday morning game or their first tournament of the year, be prepared, and they realize they're not because they have not put the rounds in. You just won't win that fight. I've never seen it happen. I don't think it'll ever happen in my lifetime where somebody can just go out and be a robot and go play without playing and being a great player. You have to go take your licks, learn from these great players, learn from them, and feed off of them, and then just use your competitive side, the tough side, to come out to compete and be better so you can progress your game forward. Okay? It is a huge part of this process, and I certainly hope that comes across well to all of our players, because if it doesn't, you'll struggle in this program. If you don't play golf and you don't compete when you have a chance, and regardless of what time you say, well, I only have 1 day a week. Well, that's fine. Go play 1 day a week. I have 6 days a week. Fine, play 6 days a week. But if you're going out and you're not playing golf, and all you're doing is training, you're gonna end up with some really good forms through our program. You could end up with some really good forms through from a lot of teachers' programs, but you're not going to be a good player, or you're not going to be a good player relative to your talent. And that is crucial, as I say it over and over and over again throughout this program, that you have to go out, put yourself out in the ring, put yourself out on that golf course, put yourself out there where you can start to learn. Even if you play bad, playing bad is not, yeah, you may go out there and play terrible. That's fine. Keep playing. Keep learning. You'll get tired of playing terrible eventually, and you will learn how to compete with what you have at that moment, and then you apply techniques behind that, and that's what ultimately makes the players who they are. If you take every player that's on the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, blah, 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 any tour that's a high-level player, and they played more golf than they practiced, every single one of them, okay? You take more, the amateurs are out there right now, and whether it's in our program or anybody else's program, they're trying to get better, and they're spending more time listening and reading and watching and trying to hit golf balls and practicing and all this training stuff, and they're not playing any golf. And that's the opposite road of what the tour players did. The tour players at where they are right now, they might have had a coach, they might not have. I can tell you they didn't grow up watching all the videos and reading all the books and all these things and practicing all the time and listening and not playing. It was opposite. They did opposite of that. They just literally played all the time. They practiced a little bit just to feed what they need, You know, if they need some better putting, okay, I practice some putting, practice at the end. But they continue to compete and play, and that's what progresses those players forward. So just remember, the only easy day was yesterday. So what you did yesterday doesn't matter, okay? Well, only thing that matters is what you're doing right now. Doesn't matter what you're going to do tomorrow. It just matters right now what you're going to do. Hit your milestones every day. Have a milestone that you're trying to accomplish. If you're an 85 shooter, your milestone. If I'm an 85 shooter, I'm going out to play a 2 o'clock game today. I've got a milestone. I'm going to try to break 80. Okay, that's my first milestone of the day. I'm going to have milestones throughout the day. These little short goals to help us get to where we're trying to get to these big goals. Chip away at that big goal. You might have a big goal if you're an 85 player to one day be club champion and all that, but don't try to do that in one day. Okay, try to do it, chip away at that, and you do that in the present moment. So, you got a game at 2 o'clock today or 1 o'clock, whenever it is, and you're just going to go out. You're going to try to compete with that group that you're playing with. Hopefully, they're better players than you are, and you put your 79 on the board for the first time. Okay, and if you put that 79 on the board for the first time today, when you wake up tomorrow, guess what? The only easy day was yesterday. You got to go do it again. You can't live off of what you've done in the past. And the people that do, they don't continue to get better. They tend to fall apart. I shouldn't say fall apart, but they're not to the standards. They always live behind. They always live in the past. I used to be this. I used to be that. I used to be this and used to be that. Doesn't matter, good or bad. It's all in the past. So start right now. Start to change what you want to do in the present, and then you'll start looking back in the future and going, wow, I've accomplished a lot of things. And then you can keep going forward. All right, best of luck.